These highlights are brought to you by Cookery Sports, a sportswear revolution.
This afternoon we're at Millbrae for the Scottish Hydroelectric clash between Ayr and Stirling County. Stirling come into this one off a great win last week against Howick. Ayr, well, last Saturday they got their first ever win at Old Annisland, so we're looking at two formed teams this afternoon. When they met up at Bridgehaw, it was a draw. Looking at the conditions today, I don't think there's going to be very much between the sides.
And it was in the first couple of minutes that Stirling decided to take on the Ayr pack, and very effectively they did too. John Donaldson and Tim Clark driving in there from the back. Justin Matheson keeping them going up to the line. Switched out wide, long pass there to Massey to hook Arena. Graham Lindsay coming off his line, and oh, so close to a try in the opening minutes. Stirling put the penalty into touch and duly won the line out. And although the ball was hacked on there by Pat MacArthur, switched to Brian Archibald, and a snap drop goal had Stirling ahead, 3 points to 0 after only 2 minutes. Stirling playing with a lot of confidence in pretty grim conditions, and certainly not frightened to give the ball plenty of air. And again Graham Lindsay coming off his own wing, giving his forwards a target. They hit that target and they won the penalty. No problem for Brian Archibald. Up he stepped, slotted the penalty, and that's what Stirling have been missing, because Archibald has been out of the side until last week, having been injured in the first game of the season. What a difference he makes. Yeah, coming into the game a wee bit, but then, oh, dreadful pass there by Boris Fournier. Snaffled up by Massey to Hakarena, scampering off there down the wing. Nobody was going to lay a finger on the Kiwi. Delighted with that try, and so he should be. He did it to Ayr up at Bridgehaw in the second game of the season. He must like playing against Ayr. 25 minutes gone, and this time the ball worked out to fullback Robbie McGowan, looking to add to last week's hat-trick against Howick, but taken out by his opposite number, Grant Anderson. That is, the Stirling cavalry arrived. Ayr offended. Penalties, says Andy McMenemy, and doing his calisthenics there to describe what went wrong. Archibald slotted it through the posts. 25 minutes gone, 14 points to 0. Stirling, well, you could say they were coasting. But somewhere around about the half-hour mark, Ayr decided that even with those skin-tight strips, there was room to stuff the ball up there somewhere. And that's exactly what they did. Rumbled on, Kenny Diffenthal, just about unpicked the defence, brought down. Ball popped up to Stuart Fennick, taken out by Graham Calder, and the ball worked back to Andy Dunlop, up to the Stirling 22. The penalty was coming. Diffenthal, another wee jink, but knew he had the shot at goal, right in front. No problem at all. And that was Ayr on the board after 33 minutes. The rain was getting heavier, but there was no let up in the intensity on the pitch. Andy Wilson picking up Graham Calder's kick. This time he was the man who cut inside to give his forwards a target, and boy did they hit the bullseye. Scott Lyons driving them on, and the big men rumbling away at the back. Gary Mountford doing his best to get in the road, but somebody coming in from the side, said Andy McMenemy. Up stepped Diffenthal, straight through the posts again, and that was 2 minutes into injury time. Half-time score, Ayr 6, Stirling 14.
These highlights are brought to you by Cookery Sports, a sportswear revolution.
Into the second half, and well, no let up in the rain, and no let up in the intensity of this game. But Ayr, having changed the game plan, playing among the forwards, Andy Dunlop taking that one on. Scott Sutherland making the ball secure, despite the attentions there of John Donaldson. Somebody stepped out of line though, and it was a chance for Diffenthal to slot penalty number 3 for Ayr and bring the margin back to only 5 points. Stirling were by no means given up though, and that hoisted kick by Graham Calder taken by Florian Mara, and Marin adjudged to have held on. Up stepped Archibald and wham, through the posts. Another successful penalty. What was a remarkable kicking display in the conditions by both the Stirling and Ayr kickers. Ayr again rumbling deep inside the Stirling 22, going through the phases, taken on there by Pat MacArthur. Ryan Grant in there doing a wee bit of destroying, but Ayr winning the penalty, and Diffenthal, number 4, through the posts, back to 5 points in it. Then Andy McMenemy chairing a meeting of the front row union, not happy with what is happening. Free kick to Ayr, taken quickly by Andy Dunlop, charging into the heart of the Stirling defence, and penalty for coming in from the side. Andy McMenemy put Mark Hunter in the bin for 10 minutes, while Kenny Diffenthal reduced the margin to only 2 points with 16 minutes to go. Ayr kept up the pressure. Stirling by now forced onto the back foot at every turn, and Ayr sensing that a win was just round the corner, and after being held up short of the line, Andy McMenemy talking to the forwards there. Andy Dunlop driving on. Craig Deakins and Bruce McFarlane, big men in the defence for Stirling, but somebody hadn't listened to what McMenemy said. Was this Ayer's chance? Oh, what a time to miss your first kick of the afternoon. 3 minutes to go, and that one to win the match. Ayr kept up the pressure though, and with drives that were as relentless as the rain, pounded on the Stirling line. This was rugby in the raw. Ayr concentrating, keeping their patience. Stirling defending heroically, knowing that the clock was running down, and all they had to do was hold out for maybe another few seconds and the win would be theirs. Oh, the intensity was nerve-wracking for the supporters. Ayr worked closer and closer, and watch the big number 1. Gordon Reid spots his chance. The leg drive was superb. The arms were raised, and Ayr had got a winning try. That was smashing rugby from both sides. Diffenthal missed the conversion. For Ayr it didn't matter. In an engrossing match, Stirling had come so close, but Ayr knew that this was a big, big win.
It's a pretty tight game. Obviously we made it pretty hard for ourselves, so tremendous effort there towards the end to keep the ball and secure the points right at the end. But no, we're happy with the win, so we'll take that. Got out of jail, I suppose. Stirling feeling a bit hard done by, but we'll take the points.
An engrossing game in appalling conditions. All credit to both sides for providing some terrific rugby. This is Ron Evans for Scottish Rugby Television at Millbrae.
These highlights are brought to you by Kukri Sports, a sportswear revolution.